Welcome back. We're still keeping into that winter warmer situation, and now we're going to dessert. And you're giving us an invention of yours that you stumbled upon.
Yeah, so this actually came from a mistake that I had in the kitchen. And we've refined it a little bit for the viewers at home. And I think this is such an incredible recipe.
I agree with you. It looks amazing. And I think you also will love this Bundt cake, because this croissant Bundt cake will turn some serious heads at your dinner table this winter. It is rich and looks like a cake, but it actually tastes like bread pudding. Is your mind blown yet? Yes, no? Well, to top it off, we're going to be adding a fruits of the forest glaze, and it will leave everyone wanting more. I want more. I want to know how to make it first of all, and after that I want to keep as much of it as possible. Show us, lead us.
This is a quick and easy recipe. The mistake came where I was at home and I didn't have like a proper tin to bake it in.
Okay.
And I had a Bundt tin, floating around in the kitchen, threw it in there, baked it off, flipped it over, and it looked like a cake.
Really?
Yeah.
That's such a great idea.
It's a great idea to sort of have a play on it, have a bit of fun in the kitchen. And it starts off by making your custard base.
Okay.
So already in here, I've got grated pear, I've got milk, I've got eggs, I've got some egg yolks, and then we're going to go in with the fruits of the forest. Now, we've chosen the Cape fruit flavor.
Okay.
And this is such a nice ingredient in this recipe. Also great to be enjoyed as a breakfast offering. It's got some, selected cereals in there. There's a bit of crunch with granola and seeds, and it pairs so well with this recipe. So I'm going to add some of that in there, and I've got a couple of other things. And
I'm loving the fact that you've also added real fruit into the actual mix itself by adding the grated pears, because even Fruits of the Forest itself has real fruit, real nuts and seeds in there. So it is great to know that you're having authenticity and the real things inside of your dish. But what's that? Is that caramel that you've also decided
I'm throwing in some caramel here. I went in with some honey. This helps with the setting of it. I've got a little bit of salt just to offset the sweetness, and some cinnamon grate with fruits. And like you said, real fruits in here. You want to, do your best to really amplify the flavors of the real fruits in this dish. Okay,
perfect. But I also see I've got some icing sugar here, and I believe that's what I'm going to be doing, the glaze that goes on the very top.
That's exactly what you're going to be doing. I'm going to hand over the fruits of the forest to you, and then I'm going to start soaking my croissants. Now, I've got about 12 croissants that I've torn up here, and I'll explain why I've actually decided to tear them up a bit later. But what you want to do is sort of add them to this mixture and soak them for about 15 minutes. Now, I know people might think, oh, they're going to go soggy, it's going to be a bit of a mess. But the idea is you want it to sort of take the shape of the Bundt tin. Okay. So by soaking them, they really get to sort of, just relax in the tin and take the shape of the actual tin. And you'll see to me now, I've really gone to town with the cooking spray in this. You'll see the one that we've made a bit earlier, it looks a bit rustic, but we actually didn't grease the pan too well, so it's stuck a little bit. And Bundt tins are a nightmare if you don't grease it. So everyone at home, please make sure you grease your Bundt tin. Just go to town, like don't stop. It's not hairspray. It's cooking spray, so you can really go to town with that.
Now, you've chosen to go with a croissant for the base. Normally, people would use bread. Is there another type of base that we could use besides, let's say, croissant, if someone says, I can't afford croissants?
You could do bread. If you had an awesome brioche, that would be
I can imagine that already.
Almost the same. You could use leftover cake. Every time I bake at home, I've always got those cut-offs at the top when I'm leveling my cakes. I always keep those to make trifles, to make bread pudding like this. And so to me, what you want to do now at this point, once they've soaked up, right? Sort of add this in about 2 or 3 additions, right? So we're going to go in with our first addition. Get yourself a spatula and press those croissants down. You really want to get into the crevices of that Bundt tin. You really want it to take on that shape. That's exactly why we're using this tin. It's not just a good way to bake this.
I feel like, the Bundt tin is somewhat of a crown. Whenever I look at cake pans, I think this one is sort of a crown. So you want to see all those edges and those crevices. So that is a very important tip to give us there.
And it's always so great to take such a humble recipe like bread pudding and really just make it special, you know?
Yeah.
Baking and cooking is often seen as a laborious thing. Try and find cute ways to make it fun at home. You know, spoil your family with it. It's a nice way to just zhuzh it up, you know? And just continue pressing it down. You'll see that it will be a bit liquid.
Yeah.
So a lot of people would be tempted to drain or strain that mixture out. But remember, this is sort of like a custard base.
Yeah.
So as it bakes gently into the oven, that custard rises up and swells up and, you know, it just gives it that jiggle, you know. And this is going to go into a preheated oven, 180 degrees for about an hour. And again, it's a bread pudding, so don't bake it that it's solid like a cake. You want that bit of jiggle, and there you have it.
And there you have it. And all you do afterwards, that glaze that we had with some icing sugar and our fruits of the forest, I'm just drizzling it all over our bundt cake. I could actually gift this to someone. I think it's a great idea. And if you also want to get your hands on this amazing, delectable recipe, do head over to Afternoon Express for the full recipe list and ingredients and everything else you need for it.
Fruits of the Forest from Clover just added real cereal crunch. A symphony of fruit, oats, seeds, and granola crunch. Fruits of the Forest. Real fruit, real cereal, real taste.
Made with love by Clover.